Well, howdy, y'all. Rudrani, Davy, the happiness lady. I even wrote a book about it. I did. Choosing happiness, an uncommon way to find joy in your life. Right. Well, I didn't actually do last Wednesday Happy Hump Day. That's what we've been calling them. For those of you that follow me that are not in the United States, Hump Day, the average work day for a person is Monday through Friday. And so Wednesday's Hump Day. And you get through Hump Day, then you're halfway through your week. For me, every day is a day I celebrate, even when it's hard. So yeah, I didn't do last Wednesday. You want to know why? I'll tell you. I was having a very hard time. Tomorrow will mark the 1 week anniversary. That'll be the 27th is tomorrow. It's the 28th, that is. The 1 week anniversary where I had to say goodbye to my beloved Pepita Puss, my little kitty cat. 17 and a half years. Easy. I'm going to pull out my retainer. Excuse me. Nobody should see that. I apologize. I had a 17 and a half year relationship with this precious furry being. And I've had longer relationships with like my family and that type of thing. But for some of you, you get it. Have most of you shared at least 17 and a half years of the same place that you live with a being, whether it was four-legged or two-legged? I mean, we slept together, we ate together. I traveled quite a bit, but I came home to her. And it was really hard. It was one of those things where it blindsided me. And I consider myself to be very psychic or, very intuitive at least, right? Aware of what's going on. And I had brought her in for her little yearly checkup. She had some kind of urinary tract infection, which I didn't know cats could get. So we had medicine for her. I've never even had that. Seriously. And I thought, how in the world did she get that? And so she had her little medicine for that, and then she lost a little bit of weight, and I thought, well, it's probably the stress, right? And then all of a sudden, she's really thin. She'd lost 4 pounds, and it seemed to happen overnight, and I started to blame myself. I was like, am I missing something here? So, I texted through the patient portal. They've got them for animals now, which is amazing. Hey, I need to bring my cat in. She doesn't seem right. She seems a little lethargic, a little slow. She's still eating and drinking lots of water, but for some reason she's disappearing. So brought her in. They suspected cancer. They were right. We had a CT scan a week later, and assumed that it actually hit quite a bit of her body already. Like maybe, I don't know. The stomach alone was 80%, but they said after the CT scan, it looked like it was something that had gotten into her lymphs, and so it was taking over her entire body. And it seemed strange to me because she was still eating and still drinking water, and they checked in with me that weekend, and I was teaching a class, and I was like, from home. So I was able to be with her. I started sleeping on a mattress, cot mattress, 2 of them. So I like this, you know, on the floor next to her, and she's like, "What are you doing, weirdo?" But the thing was is she wasn't able to jump up on the bed. And, so I was like, "Okay, lady, I'm right here for you." And I would get her to drink water, in the middle of the night. I'm pouring her fresh Kangen water. For those of you that don't know me that well, I'm very bougie about my water. I'm even very bougie about what I drink my water out of. My little crystal glass here. Because I think every day of life is a celebration. So, anyway, needless to say, I had her for 3 more weeks. And she would go through this weird thing. She would all of a sudden have energy for a couple of days. She could jump back up on the couch. She didn't attempt the bed, but it's kind of a princess bed. I am a princess. It's high off the floor, although I actually have steps for her to get up there because she's also a princess. She has to be. She's my kitty cat. And so long story longer, she would do better. She would do worse. She would eat more. She would eat less. And she used to eat like treats and a little bit of hard food and about 1.5 cans of her favorite wet food. At 17 and a half, I was, she was kind of wanting the softer foods. So I was honoring that. And she was doing so well on a Saturday that I didn't bring her in like I thought I would. But it was as if she was fooling me or something. She didn't eat that last Saturday afterwards, after that Saturday morning or Sunday. And so there I am with her Monday as well. And I'm like, okay, lady, Tuesday. She ate a little bit more. Wednesday, she stopped eating again. Then Thursday, we're talking about last week. And I was like, okay, girl, I got it. So there I am. I'm not sleeping now, y'all. I'm like, what do you need from me, sweet girl? You've given me so much. And she would get up. We would make eye contact. And she was still there, okay? She's not eating. She's still there. She's very weak. She's very light, quiet meow. And you know how cats do, for those of you that are cat lovers, they do that little blinky thing. And if you talk to any cat psychologist, or I don't remember the name of the dude that I follow on YouTube, bald dude with the big glasses. And when they blink like that, they're telling you how much they love you. And I'm like, I love you too. I'm giving her water, and she would get up, and it was hard for her. She was stumbling a little bit from her cat bed to the mattresses. And we're talking about maybe this much, right? Because I learned after 2 nights of sleeping on the floor that I needed a double. And she would come, and she'd meow to make sure I would open my eyes. And she would put her little head on my wrist or on my arm, you know, and she'd start purring. And then, like, a minute later, she would get up and she'd go back in her cat bed. I'm like, this is really peculiar behavior. What are you doing? And then she would come, we'd talk a little bit. She'd have water. She would drink a lot of water. It was so cute. And then she would put her paw on my hand and look at me. Meow. And if any of you know me, and you've met my cat, because if you know me over the last 17 and a half years, you would have been at my house at least once and been like, man, you got a very talkative cat. And we were very psychic together too. So this went on all night, and I had some work I had to do early in the morning. I had to actually vet somebody in for another organization I work for. So I would pop in and I say, you okay? Is today the day? She'd go, ew. We both knew. And I got her a little cat carrier ready for her the way she likes. She wasn't eating any treats, but I had to put treats in there because that's what we always did. She just looked at him. She's looking at me like, you silly human. I'm not going to eat that. And I told my mom, I'm her caregiver. And I walked into her bedroom and I said, it's time to say goodbye. What do you mean? She said. I said, we've got to let her go. And it was funny because for like a week, she was telling me, you can see she's in pain. Are you sure you want to keep doing this? And I'm like, she's still cognitive. She's still eating. I can't euthanize her when she's still aware. But here's the interesting part, y'all. She was still aware. She was still aware. She's not eating, but she's still telling me, I love you. You're my person. Oh, so I picked up her little frail body. God only knows. She's probably lost another couple of pounds. I'm not going to know because we're not going to do all the poking and prodding anymore, right? And I carried her into my mom's bedroom. She's still in bed. I'm like, it's time to say goodbye. My cat loved my mom too because she spoiled the crap out of her every time I would go out of town. Overfeed her, all the things. I mean, I would give her some people food, but come on, this was ridiculous. It was like she started begging. Her behavior changed so much after my mom moved in. I went, it's your fault, lady. And So I held her little frail body. I said, "Celeste, you've gotta say goodbye." And so she grabbed her little head. She's petting her, "Pepita, we love you. Goodbye." She's kissing her. And I can tell my cat knows something is up because I don't ever carry her to my mom's bedroom, especially with my mom's cat laying on the bed. They're both 17 and a half. We don't know exactly. We know her birthday's September 1st, so I know how old she is because I pull her out of her mama. Her cat's just sitting there looking at us, almost as if he's like, "What am I next?" You know, this interesting energy because they didn't like each other. We wanted them to be girlfriend and boyfriend, but it didn't work out. Anyway, I am. I didn't know I was gonna cry again, y'all. It's okay. That's the point. It's like, how wonderful to have something that hurts this bad, that you love that much. To be able to experience that is actually a gift. So I brought her, and she just kept meowing in the car, but very, very faint. And so I opened the top of the carrier, and I'm petting her sweet little head. I'm like, "It's okay. It's okay. Soon you won't be in pain. I'll just be in pain." So funny. "You won't be in pain anymore, sweet girl. Thank you for being for being with me through all the stuff." I can't tell you how many times I've cried to my cat. They're the best bartender, I'm telling you right now. Unless they're an asshole. My mom's cat's kind of an asshole sometimes, but we love him anyway, right? He was a stray. Who knows what kind of abuse he had. This cat was loved from the minute I pulled her out of her mom's body. And, we went and we spent some time together there. She didn't struggle with the catheter at all. She was so brave. She just looked at me. We gave her the sedative. She's looking at me. I was like trying to get her to close her eyes. She wasn't gonna close her eyes. She was just gonna keep looking at me. And they said, "You want more time with her?" I said, "I have time with her. She's not leaving me." I mean, her body, but she'll be with me forever. I just knew it. And so 10:20 a.m., I felt her leave her body. I looked up. I said, "I know you can see me. You got to show me there you're with Jesus." And that night, I heard her, meow, and I felt her curl up at my feet. And, it's interesting, my mom had an experience too because I came home and she was like, "Where's Pepita?" And I said, "Well, I left her there. We're gonna put her in an urn. We'll have some ashes too to spread it." And my mom said, "I know what time she passed." I said, "You do?" She said, "Because she said goodbye to me at 10:20 a.m." That puss, I swear, Pepita Puss, you're so magical. And so, my mom sobbed in my arms because we both miss her. Because she was such a sweet girl. She would talk to everyone that ever came in the house. Everybody loved Pepita. And then the aftermath. All of a sudden, I'm not feeling her at the end of the bed. A couple of days go by. I'm freaking out. I'm like, "Where'd my cat go?" And I'm like, "Do you want to come back to me?" And she's different. And she says, "No, not in a body." I went, "Really?" She said, "Yeah, I think you need my help." It was this weird thing. So now Pepita is one of my guardian angels. I didn't know that cats could be that. And so it's a different relationship. Um, every morning in my hot tub mainly, because that's when I have, business hours with entities, beings without bodies, and, she's showing up every morning, her and Olivia Newton-John and a few other people. And I actually facilitated 2 this morning, a 10-year-old girl and a 10-year-old boy that were part of the Covenant shooting that happened. I didn't even know this until I watched the news this afternoon. It's been a year anniversary, and this little boy, little girl were stuck on this side, and they were like, "Our family doesn't see us." I had no clue who they were. I just knew that it was a traumatizing experience of how they left their bodies, and so I said, "Well, here's the thing, y'all, you don't have bodies anymore, and your families can't hear you, but do you want me to send you to Jesus? You wanna go home? You wanna go somewhere where you can decide if you want a body again?" And, they were both like I get a feeling they were, like, hanging out together all this time, confused, not related. And then I found out that it was, 2 of the children that were killed during the Covenant shooting in Asheville, Tennessee, down the road from me. So they're home, heaven, or whatever you wanna call it. So is my kitty cat. And I guess I mean, I titled it, The Aftermath, like, it's so heavy saying goodbye is the aftermath. And what's the aftermath? Hey, knowing that it's all divine order, whatever that means, that those 17 and a half years weren't in vain, that it's okay to be sad because I miss her body, and she's not gonna leave me because she thinks I'm hopeless, or that I could use her help, let's put it that way. So, I guess I just wanted to share this with any of you that have ever lost a loved one or a pet, and it had to hurt so bad that you just didn't think you could move on. Guess what? They don't leave you. It's just different. And I'm actually very happy about it. And I didn't know I was gonna cry through it. I'm a big crybaby, but I gotta tell you something, y'all. I'm actually really grateful. Wow. This is I almost can't breathe. Hold on. Whew. There we go. That's better. So, love till it hurts, I guess. They're gonna be with you forever, those little furry beings, but, while they're there, love them like they love you unconditionally. Acknowledge them. And this one evidently really loves me back, and I've had a lot of pets, but she's still with me, so how did I get so lucky? Thanks for allowing me to do this little crybaby thing. And, if you would acknowledge your pets in the comments, that would be lovely. I would honor that. And when I honor her on my altar, I'm picking up her ashes tomorrow. I will honor your pets as well. So thanks for listening, for supporting me. Uh, thanks for listening this long. Hit the subscribe button. I don't know what else to say. The happiness lady is signing off. Ciao, ciao for now, y'all. Thanks for listening. I so appreciate you. I'm super grateful.